Well, I'm off work sick right now with a bad chest cold, so forgive me, I may need to take a couple cough breaks, but I have a little bit of time to catch up with YouTube and engage with you folks here. And so I watched a video from my friend Taylor of r.a.n.t Strategies, and I'll put a link below. And he was discussing the attacks on the National Guardsmen that occurred the day before Thanksgiving. And to recap, in case you live in Antarctica and you don't have a Starlink, two National Guardsmen tasked with protecting Washington, D.C. were attacked the day before Thanksgiving. One of them was murdered, and I believe another is in critical condition. The assailant was also injured and is in serious condition. And there was some strange information that came out about his link to the military. I believe he's an Afghan national who assisted our military during their campaign in Afghanistan. And so there's a lot of strange information about that, and I'm sure all the details will come out in time, but there's something even more insidious going on. And so Taylor's video, I really encourage you to go take a look. It was a good video. In it, he urged restraint. He urged us not to jump to hatred towards any one group of people. And he also talked about the outrage economy that surrounds these types of events. And I thought that was a really interesting observation, because there absolutely is an economic incentive to stoking outrage. But in addition to that, he posited the question. He said, how could this occur, this destruction of our culture and society, unless somebody was orchestrating it? And I don't know if he realized just how close to him that destruction of our societal order was going to come. Because if you scroll down into his comment section, you'll see some very strange things going on. And so I'll put some of these screenshots up. In it, people were discussing how they believed Donald Trump paid somebody to do this. It was a false flag. He's going to use it to clamp down on control. People were commenting that Charlie Kirk is still alive. I saw some very strange language. There's a lot of misspellings, but some strange language about the traitorous Trump regime, which is, that stuck out to me as particularly suspicious, because I don't hear a lot of Americans talking that way. A lot of people disagree with Donald Trump, and certainly I do as well in many cases, but traitorous Trump regime sounds more like North Korean rhetoric. I'll sometimes tune into their shortwave propaganda broadcasts in the mornings because I think it's hilarious. And they'll talk about the traitorous puppet regime to the south, and that type of rhetoric really smacked as more foreign, North Korean, than domestic American discourse. And so I started looking around at some of the channels that were posting these, and some of them were very convincing, decades old channels with videos posted of themselves. And that makes it more convincing as a real person and not a troll account. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Some of them, like this Thanksgiving News Network that posted a just bizarre, strange comment, have only been around for a few days, and clearly their videos that they've posted are AI generated and make no sense. It's nonsense. It's frontier gibberish.
And no sidewinding, bushwhacking, hornswoggling, crocker is gonna roll away biscuit cutter.
So I started looking around at some other videos on the topic of this National Guardsman attack. And I also saw some very strange comments, almost on the opposite spectrum of the type of comments that Taylor's video was generating. Here over on this other video that a fellow from church sent me on this topic, I saw several comments urging Trump to declare martial law. This is another thing I don't necessarily hear Americans saying. Actually, I don't think I've heard any American, and I talk to a lot of people on all sides of the political spectrum. I enjoy conversations with conservatives, liberals. I will even talk to an extreme right or left-wing person, because, you know, if I can't justify my opinions to somebody with a completely extreme opposite opinion of mine, then maybe I need to reevaluate my opinion, right? So I just enjoy conversations with a lot of people. I've never, ever heard someone say that they want martial law right now. That is universally, I'm going to say near universally, thought of as something that is bad for our country. Nobody wants us. And so to see 3 separate comments on a video saying we need martial law right now, this doesn't seem right. And so here's what I think is going on. I think these are foreign trolls. I think they're troll farms or some type of AI generated content. There clearly is some familiarity with the content of the video. So I think they're parsing through the transcript, perhaps. So obviously some of them don't. Like here's one that was very strange. It was attacking Taylor's background and the way he dresses and saying it means that he hates gay people or something. Like this is just bizarre. So clearly some of these are just copy pasta, but some of them had very good familiarity with the actual content of the video. So I think that these are troll farms, many of them AI generated, and I think they're using stolen accounts. Otherwise, I don't know how else you would have such a convincing looking account that's decades old with videos posted from those people and come up with this stuff, this very, very strange stuff. And so how do we guard against this? Because this is becoming more and more convincing as time goes on and as technology advances. It used to be you'd look for some strange misspellings, somebody who clearly doesn't have a solid grasp of the English language, and you could kind of figure out that maybe that Nigerian prince is not actually stuck in the hotel lobby and needs all my money, right? But these are getting better and better. And I think we need to look for those really little cues that just kind of perk up our spidey senses to tell us, oh, maybe something's not going on here. And what I looked at, Taylor has a really good channel. He has double the subscriber count as mine, and so he gets more interaction. But this was way more interaction than normal. And these were not people I've seen comment on his videos before. A lot of them were off topic. Some things just flat out didn't make sense. And so if I can cue in on one little tiny irregularity, that makes me be on the lookout for more irregularities. And so the more I look through those comments section, the more I see the exact thing that Taylor was warning about in this video. Somebody, somewhere, probably a foreign country, I'm guessing, is intentionally attempting to stoke animus within our nation, within our culture, within our society. For what reason? Just to destabilize us? If you think back to the day after the 9/11 attacks, for a hot minute, we were all together. We were all united against whoever did that. We didn't know at the time exactly, but we all knew that we were one people and that we together are strong. And so I believe our enemies know that we are weak. We are so easily fractured because of just how vitriolic this outrage economy has become. And so we need to be on guard for that. I think the way we get out of this mess, this cultural disaster that we find ourselves in, this fractured society, I think if we can all commit ourselves to having a cool head when these types of things happen, rather than blaming an entire group of people, especially when all the information isn't out yet, if we maintain a cool head, maintain an analytical thought process, rather than jump straight into that outrage economy, which nobody I know makes any money off of. Somebody does, but not me. Not you either, I bet, if you're watching this. I think that's how we fix this mess that we're in. Thank you all so much. Hang in there. Keep a cool head. Stay safe.